What's up, y'all? It's been a minute. You're probably wondering why I have not been increasing the output on some of my story times. This mic sounds a little weird. I might need a new one. Thanks for coming by once again this weekend. This might be a little shorter. I promise you that AI censorship analysis is going to come. But I just kind of wanted to update everybody with some of the different things that's been going on and the things that I've been working with. Usually I have my music playing, so this will sound a little weird. You know, I always have my music playing during the time I do this, so I'm gonna just throw some music afterwards. It's Saturday afternoon. I just went over to Nanny's Jerk Chicken spot right off of Rice Street. They have excellent food. If you're ever in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, make sure you go to Nanny's West Indian Soul Food. They got some good stuff over there off of University. So I always want to show love to my black-owned businesses whenever I can. And just wanted y'all to, if anybody hasn't really been following up, just as a review, I think we're going to start doing this now on, is we're going to start making references to some of the old videos. I just got in contact with a sister, gave her an agenda, was helping her with trying to get a good direction for her as to where she wants to go in terms of IT. We all keep hearing the nightmare about AI and things of that nature. So I found out some more information about things that are so-called AI proof. Business analyst is a good one. There's a couple others. Cybersecurity, that's something definitely that you want to get into. You still might have to go into the help desk just to get a little tech experience, or any software as a service. Nowadays, even software as a service, they considering that to be just help desk. But I had a data center interview with a large telecom company, and you'll see that. I posted some of that stuff on what you're going to see. It doesn't really pay that much, but I said, well, you know what? Maybe that's something to consider, as our good brother Rashad Morton on LinkedIn was saying that, you might want to start considering some trades. With all this AI stuff going on, don't think below yourself as a trade. And some people say, well, I'm just going to pick up a broom, or I'm going to be a carpenter. Not necessarily. You could get into fiber optic and telecom and things of that nature, and they can't automate that just yet. They're not, maybe they will, but, so I had a data center interview. There's another part of the interview that I'm going to post on Monday. But if you guys haven't heard already about my merger analysis on Veritas, that data center interview, they're asking a lot of questions where they're trying to see where your mind, so they'll have these little mind games, not necessarily Jedi mind tricks, but a lot of mind games where you'll be playing, where you got to match up shapes and things of that nature. You're going to see yourself going into a lot of assessments. I had another interview from a software as a service company. I'm going to break that up too, and I'm going to post that as well. But I did do an interview on how to handle recruiters. I've been looking at a lot of the business system analyst positions, so you guys can kind of get an idea about that. So I posted that as well. I posted that about 3 days ago. My wife just texted me. She wants me to be on the way. Come get her from church. Okay, I thought I would have a little bit more time. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to start this back off pretty soon here, because I just got to run out, which is crazy. We're going to start this back off soon as I get back, and you'll see it's going to be seamless. And we are back, y'all. My apologies. Seriously, my apologies. Got a little hot in here, so I got my Arctic air going. If you hear the little fan in the background, don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. As I said, I wanted to kind of touch on a couple different things as we go along. I might break this thing up into a couple different pieces, because I said I didn't really get anything for Black History Month. I'm going to do Black History Year. Now, the first inventor I want to start off with, and this is technology. It's a brother by the name of and I got allergies. I don't know why the hell every time I get ready to do a podcast is my allergies messing up. I hate that. But there's a brother by the name of Alexander Miles. And his family actually lived up here in Minnesota for some time. He was born in 1838. Now, let me tell you what he was known for. This brother was awarded a patent for automatically opening and closing elevator doors. Black Americans have created all kinds of things that has helped the total society on this planet. All kinds of stuff that we really didn't know. So he was born in Ohio. And then they moved from Waukesha, Wisconsin to Winona. Winona is maybe an hour and a half away from the Twin Cities. Very beautiful place. I've been down there, I think maybe once or twice. And then after he moved, it says his family moved to Duluth, Minnesota. Now let me test out this little thing to see if I could, so whenever my nose is messing up, I can just press this button. Let me see if it cuts me off. Oh, yep, it cuts me off right there. So you might hear these little cutoffs whenever I'm kind of doing my thing. I could mute myself, and I like that. That way you ain't gotta hear me making all these little noises and stuff sometimes. So they moved to Duluth, Minnesota, and then eventually they moved to Montgomery, Alabama in 1889. Okay? And then he moved to Chicago. And he founded the United Brotherhood as a life insurance company to insure black folks, because black folks were being denied coverage at that time. So remember, y'all, we getting a little history lesson. Then he moved again in 1903 to Seattle, Washington, and he worked as a hotel in the hotel as a barber. Okay, so around that time in the 1900s, doors of the elevators, they had to be closed manually by dedicated operators. And if the shaft was not closed, people could fall in. So he improved on the mechanism by designing a flexible belt attachment to the elevator cage and the drums positioned to indicate if the elevator has reached the floor. The belt allowed for automatic opening and closing when the elevator reached the drums on respective floors. So he got this patent in 1887. He got this patent in 1887. Now, he died in 1918. So it looks like his family he wasn't too old when he died, but it looked like his family moved around a whole lot. Now, that's just one little bit of information that I found from him. So we want to give a shout out to that brother. Another thing I wanted to showcase in terms of technology is Thermo King. Thermo King is a big company up here in Minneapolis, and I heard about it, and I might have applied before, but I had no idea that a foundational black American up here was the founder. I didn't know that. And I'm gonna give you his name: Frederick McKinley Jones. Now, this brother, he co-founded Thermo King. He served as a sergeant of World War I, had 61 patents, 40 for refrigerator technology. So this brother, he died in Minneapolis in 1961. In 1912, his family moved to Haylock, Minnesota. What's interesting is he moved to Haylock, Minnesota, where he worked as a mechanic on a 50,000 acre farm, and the farm was owned by James J. Hill. Now, James J. Hill was a railroad director. I went to the James J. Hill mansion in St. Paul. If you're ever in St. Paul, Minnesota, make sure you go to that mansion. I don't even want to tell y'all about the mansion. I'm just saying, make a tour so you could kind of see what was going on. It says here he lived in Halleck, Minnesota for 20 years, and would later say in a newspaper article that Halleck was a place where a man was judged more on his character and ability than on the color of his skin. He was known locally as Casey due to a remark by a railroad engineer he met while working at the Hill Farm. So he received his engineering license at age 20, and he upgraded his license to the higher grade. So in Halleck, Minnesota, he's saying that, and this is him talking, that you were judged on your grind. Now you see, when big obstacles and people aren't cutting our throats, black folks could rise to the occasion and rise to the top. So around 1938, he began designing the Thermo Control Model A automatic truck refrigeration unit. He designed the portable air cooling unit for trucks carrying perishable food. He also developed a portable X-ray machine. And he developed an early prototype of a snowmobile. It was called a snow machine. He was the first black American in 1944 to join the American Society of Refrigeration Engineers. And this brother did a lot. He died of lung cancer. He was 67 years old in Minneapolis in 1961. He has tons of patents. Ticket dispensing machine, designed for an AC unit, 2-cycle gas engine, another 2-cycle gas engine, starter generator, rotary compressor, another AC unit, an engine actuated ventilating system, refrigeration control, a whole bunch of AC systems, thermostat and temperature control systems. He had a ton of patents, all the way from 1939 all the way to 1960. So this brother was designing until the day he died. After military service in World War I, he worked as a mechanic learning electronics. He built a transmitter for the town's first radio station. He invented a device to combine sound with motion pictures, and this attracted the attention of local entrepreneur Joseph A. Numero of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, Numero owned a company that manufactured audio equipment called Ultraphone Sound Systems Inc., and was later renamed to Cinema Supplies. So he hired Jones in 1927 as an electrical engineer to improve the audio equipment made by his firm. And Jones worked on converting silent movie projectors into audio-visual projectors. Jones also patented a ticketing dispensing machine for movie theaters. So this brother, he did a whole bunch of stuff. He did a lot. Now I want to play this clip. I'm not sure why it's not playing. That's kind of weird. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Okay, let me see if it's playing now. Still not playing. Okay, something else is going on here. Why is this not playing? Okay, we don't need that. For some reason, I'm not getting sound out of here. Going pretty, boy. Let me get this going, y'all. I'll be editing it as we go. Problem. There we go. Let's put some extra respect on this brother's name. Frederick McKinley. This was Fox 9 News. This came out 2 years ago.
When you go to the supermarket, your pick of fresh fruits and vegetables is at your fingertips year-round. But did you know an African-American inventor from Minnesota is responsible for creating the technology that makes that possible?
Flowers in the middle of winter, pineapples, coconuts. It was unheard of until Fred came up with an idea. This is the history of Thermo King in Bloomington, starting with Fred Jones and Joe Numero.
Rick Smith is the company historian for Thermo King.
Now, why didn't they tell us this in school? This right here, we've been using this since we was kids. We've been using this since we were kids. Now, I didn't really know too much about this until I started looking into it. I just found out about this Thermo King the other day. This is a tragedy. This should have been something that we should have been taught about in school. So I know the concept, there's been talk over, how, history is not hidden and stuff like that. But if somebody knows about this and they don't want you to know about it, they are hiding it. They are hiding it. And I'm quite sure that there was a lot of people that had this information that didn't tell us.
Pioneered the refrigerated transport industry more than 80 years ago.
Fred came up with the first mechanical refrigeration unit that would go on the nose of a trailer.
He says it was an invention by employee Frederick McKinley Jones that put the company on the map.
In the big scheme of things, this gentleman did a lot, and it impacts people every day, and you don't even know it.
Jones was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, but as a young man, he ended up in Halleck, Minnesota, maintaining the equipment on a farm owned by the son of railroad magnate James J. Hill. Smith says Jones was a mechanical genius who built an early version of the snowmobile with a car engine and an airplane propeller on the back. He also raced cars, but he often came across bigoted drivers who didn't want to compete against him because of the color of his skin.
And not just because of the color of his skin, because they knew that he was going to win. Let's put that in there as well. They knew that if they got out there, it wasn't going to be no chance.
He was good at what he did. He knew how to build a car, he knew how to race the car, and he did all the mechanics on it and everything, which was unheard of at that period of time. Fred did it all.
After serving in World War I, Jones taught himself electronics and created a device to combine sound with motion pictures for the small theater in town.
Fair use, YouTube, fair use.
That caught the attention of Minneapolis entrepreneur Joe Numero, who offered Jones a job to improve the sound equipment made by his company without meeting him. But when Jones showed up at his office, at first Numero thought it was a joke.
He thought, this black man standing in the lobby can't possibly be the genius that he heard about. So he kind of started quizzing him. What do you know about microphones? What do you know about speakers? And Fred just told him everything he wanted to hear until Joe finally said, whoa, you're the real guy.
Years later, Numero was playing golf with a friend who owned a trucking business, and he told Numero he wished someone would come up with a refrigerated trailer. Numero bet him $5 his resident genius, Jones, could figure it out.
Joe Numero came back to Fred McKinley Jones and said, hey, I need you to create this refrigerated unit.
So this brother was like the George Washington Carver of refrigeration.
And within a couple of weeks, we had a prototype. And within a short period of time after that, we had the first mechanical refrigeration unit. So that's how this industry got started, on a bed on a golf course.
The invention became the basis for Numero's new company, Thermo King, in 1938. And Jones received a patent for his invention a couple of years later. The portable air cooling unit allowed trucks to carry fresh food anywhere across the country without spoiling, ushering in the era of the supermarket. During World War II...
So this brother, let's keep it 100. Chipotle's wouldn't be around if it wasn't this brother around. Somebody might have came up with it, but I'm just saying. This brother really hooked everybody up, man.
The military also used Jones's invention to transport and store blood, medicine, and food for troops on the front line.
Wow.
I was eating nectarines the other day. I was thinking, how can you eat a nectarine in Minnesota when it's 20 below? Well, that invention that he created in 1938 is the reason why I had those nectarines just then.
In all, Jones held more than 60 patents for everything from a portable x-ray machine to an automatic ticket dispenser before he died from lung cancer in 1961. 30 years later, President George Bush Sr. posthumously awarded his widow the National Medal of Technology, making Jones the first African American to receive the honor.
Being an African American person, it fills me with joy and pride that he did such a great thing for our society. This is the actual first unit created in 1938.
A refurbished version of Jones's most prominent achievement is on display at Thermo King headquarters, and later versions are still being used to transport life-saving vaccines during the pandemic today, further cementing Jones's legacy for future generations as the king of cool.
We talk about all these great things that are happening now, the Googles and the Microsofts. Well, I say, hey, Fred Jones started something very important back in 1938, and we all are benefiting from it today.
For Voices for Change, Maury Glover, Fox 9.
Incredible story.
So he was doing life or death stuff. Yeah, Google's important, but you're not going to die if they take it away. When he's talking about stuff on the military getting people blood, we're talking about life or death. We're literally talking about life or death situations. Oops, wrong one. Shout out to that brother. Super shout out to that brother. Yeah, we doing Black History Year. Another thing, I want to shout out this sister, Bosch & Corp. This sister came up with some software. Dr. Janet, wait a minute, hold on, no. Yeah, Dr. Janet Bashan. She said, I was a black girl raised in the segregated South in the 60s and 70s. It was a confusing period, made more perplexing by my parents' inability to answer my many questions about race. As a young adult, I realized that questioning the racial status quo in Alabama, then there was a futile endeavor for most black folk. But our collective racial conditions sparked a curiosity within me that led to a lifelong quest to better understand our country's history and struggle with racial issues. I've always been passionate about equal opportunity and mutual respect, and my fervor involved into a business. So I'm looking at a picture on Bosch Corporation. This system made an equal opportunity HR software that was web-based. This is an interview that I'm gonna play. So she was calling out white supremacy at an early age. Fair use, YouTube.
There's a backlog of 80,000 complaints filed with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Many of these discrimination claims will go to court, and some will bring awards in the tens of millions of dollars. Damaging to both reputation and bottom line, these suits are every CEO's worst fear. My guest has carved out a business around one of the most topical issues in the workplace. Joining me is Janet Bashan, President and CEO of S.J. Bashan Corporation. It's great to have you on Business Unusual.
Thank you.
You're multifaceted. You don't just cover racial discrimination. You cover the whole product line in a sense, huh?
Yes, we do. We cover all discrimination filed under Title VII. Fair employment practices is my niche. It relates
now
to
what
religion.
she's talking about, y'all, is due process. Neely Fuller talked about that a lot. She is like she's the due process tech whiz. That's what her software is really based around, that due process.
Age, sexual harassment, every area that's covered under Title VII, including ADA, which is Americans with Disabilities Act. Many of our cases are issues that many people are not aware of that's covered under the Act.
One of the most interesting ones is religion, and you had mentioned that you were surprised when you did one investigation yourself.
One of the cases we recently investigated involved Wiccan, which is witchcraft. And I didn't realize that witchcraft is one of the oldest religions in the world. And was surprised to discover that it was definitely protected. And that was an awakening for me.
Some would say that you work for the bad guys, but the companies actually hire you to deal with the problem before it goes to court. So they're really the good guys in the sense that they want to see if there is a problem internally. Do you find that CEOs are fairly open-minded these days, or they need a lot of educating?
The companies that come to us because they want the facts. We're fact finders. We give them the information, good or bad, and we provide them with information that they can use to make a business decision. And many of the companies will take the information we provide and determine that they need to change policies, they need to make these people whole, or they may decide that this is something where we didn't discriminate, and they want to defend it. So we give them the good and the bad, and they make the decision after receiving the information from my company.
How open-minded are most of your clients, would you say, honestly?
I believe I've never had a situation where I gave clients bad information.
All right, let's
where
go to
they
her
didn't-
business.
And after that, your name was out there.
Well, I got my start when I started to investigate customer complaints of discrimination for what was set up. It was a particular vehicle that they used in California where they had a civil rights monitor who was, the whole job was for that person to monitor and see if discrimination was occurring to customers. And that was my first client. I responded by investigating a number of complaints, of customer complaints of discrimination. And yes, that was the big start, and my name did get out there. A lot of companies heard about our investigative techniques where I gave the information without the biases. I gave them exactly what occurred. And if a customer was not discriminated against based on our finding, I gave them that information as well.
You have 18 attorneys on your staff. You're
Yes.
growing. What separates you from the others is that you're not a law firm, so you're
That's
not
right.
trying to take this to court. So you don't really have any competition.
That's exactly right. Maybe after this show, I'll have competition, but I think that the one niche we have is the fact that we're trying to get to the facts. We're trying to give the information to the company so they can make a good business decision to protect their bottom line. And as they get the information, they can determine what they need to do to protect their interests.
This is amazing what this sister did. Founded in 1994. Yeah, she got a nick, so she found a problem, found an idea. Says every aspect of Bosch's corporation practice focused on innovation and dedication to building proactive EEO initiatives within organizations. During its 30-year history, Bosch Corporation has investigated over 100,000 workplace complaints. No other firm has a level of knowledge for investigating complaints using a technology-driven process. Talking about IT, y'all. Work extensively with Fortune 500 companies, federal agencies, city and state governments, educational institutions, financial institutions, transit authorities, healthcare providers, hospitality industry, law firms, manufacturing, nonprofit, pharmaceuticals, railroad, real estate, religious, restaurants, food and beverage, small business. Man, she got the game on lock. She got the game on lock, y'all. Bosch Corporation. This sister's she's doing her thing. I'm going to come back to the other ones. I'm definitely going to come back to the other ones another time. What I want to do is I want to get into something right away. Let's do our little quick review, because I posted a couple different things. I actually posted how it was in the 90s. I was talking about the employment that was going out here right now. Do some of these younger folks have employment? Do some of these younger people, is it easier for them to get employment than us? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that it's harder. Because in that little post that I made, it seemed like to me that we had a lot more programs when we were younger. Summer programs to find a job. You know, to find a job. And it seemed like it was a lot easier, you know, back then. Now, I want to read a Dice article real quick. I want to read a Dice article that's talking about, this is from Leslie Stevens Huffman, about techs winning and losing jobs in 2024. This is very important on what I'm going to read. It says, as we kick off in 2024, the market for tech jobs and skills continues to experience the same highs and lows that characterized 2023. In fact, volatility and the value of popular skills and certification reached a 3-year high in 2023, according to the IT Skills and Certifications Pay Index from Foot Partners LLC. Tech companies laid off more than 260,000 workers while rehiring for different positions and skill sets. Specifically, companies are redirecting investments into applied AI, machine learning, cloud, data science, data privacy, while cutting spending in other areas, leading to the reallocation of talent, explained David Foot Partners Chief Analyst and Research Officer. So let's get right into it. The new era of AI is here. It says AI and machine learning. We're seeing more companies transition from generative AI to actually applying AI and ML knowledge and technology to real-world business problems, such as increasing sales, reducing costs, improving the customer experience. As predicted, this shift is causing tech roles to evolve, with some becoming obsolete while new others emerge that new ones emerge that pay high salaries. So the most in demand positions right now is an AI engineer, 122 to 180K, AI data scientist, AI data analyst, product manager, AI prompt engineer, human AI collaboration manager. Now, the extra pay awarded for employers reflects the robust demand for AI machine learning expertise. So the people that have gotten pay premiums of 10 to 20% of annual salaries, it says the following skill and certifications ranked in this survey, garnering pay premiums of 10 to 20% of annual salary over the last 6 months of 2023 was large language models, LLM tuning, neural networks, deep learning, machine learning, and the Microsoft certified Azure AI engineer associate. Now for cloud, that's become a high demand. Cloud engineers, architects, and developers. Hybrid cloud environments are becoming increasingly popular as companies look to implement real-time big data analytics, increase capacity and resiliency, and reap other benefits. As a result, the IDC predicts that spending on cloud solutions will reach $258 billion by 2027 and create 1 million new jobs in fields relating to public cloud services within the next year. Y'all, I'm glad y'all being patient with me with my damn allergies. I've been muting it up. So, if you're looking to cash in on the cloud computing craze, acquiring any of the skills and certs can help you qualify and garner premium pay up to 18% of base salary. Azure Service Fabric, Amazon Athena, Cloud Foundry, Platform as a Service, Google Cloud, which is the professional cloud architect, and Google Cloud Professional Cloud Security Engineer. Now for information and cybersec, it says with many software developers, architects, and engineers acquiring foundational knowledge of threat identification, security standards, and practices, tech leaders have started shifting budgets toward highly specialized roles that require a knowledge of data privacy and production regulations. In fact, professionals with data privacy skills saw their market rise by 41% over the last 6 months of 2023, and the top in-demand cybersec jobs of 2024 is security specialist, security analyst, cloud security specialist, mobile security specialist, security architect, threat intelligence analyst, and cybersecurity manager, director, or CISO. Now, here's the certifications that they mentioned. GIAC Security Leadership Checkpoint Certified Master, GIAC Security Operations Manager, Certified Information Privacy Manager, the Certified Information System Security Professional, that's CISSP, and you need about 5 years experience before the board gives you that. Certified Enterprise Defender and Infosys Security Architecture Professional. Now for data science and data analysis, they say that those people with those expertise were able to command a premium pay of 18% of their base salary over the last 6 months of 2023. You're going to continue to see that go up in 2024. Now, here's the jobs and skills trending downward. Here's where it's going to get janky. AI will continue to eliminate most routine programming jobs as well as manual coding positions, Foot warned. To have long-term job security, These professionals need to become involved in AI-assisted software development and focus on learning more complex and innovative tasks. Level 1 technical support, again, because automation technology and chatbots are capable of providing basic support, they're reducing the need for humans to handle most Tier 0 and Tier 1 inquiries. System administration. While system administrative jobs are not going away, conventional sysadmins will need to learn additional skills and certs, such as cloud administration, to open up new paths and experience better job security in 2024 and beyond. So the days of just being mediocre is over with. That's what's happening. It is literally over with. Now, System Administrator's Career Path, How to Succeed. This is by Nathan Eddy. This came out last year in May. Now, they said in today's fast-paced world, blah, 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 things is going rapid. Step 1, learn the necessary skills. Now, these skills that pop up in the most job postings is sysadmin, Linux, AD, VMware technical support, Windows Server, hardware and software installation. And as I always said, they said getting started in help desk. Ryan Sutton, Robert Half's executive director for the technology practice group, says the foundation to a career in system administration begins with a BA in computer science and experience in the technology environment. Typically, you'll see people interning for IT managers and ultimately a network administrator. From that internship, you keep working your way forward. System administrators are expected to do more in their roles when compared to a few years ago. It's no longer enough to focus on inbound tickets and timely resolution. Today's system admins may take on projects to eliminate technical debt, automate processes, and integrate systems. They might be involved in planning and implementation of new systems and upgrades, working with management and other IT professionals to determine the best solutions for the organization. Now, if you're moving into analyst and development roles, Shekhtar says that now they're talking about Niraj Shekhtar, the VP of IT with Viva Systems. He says as a sysadmin, one can move into a business system analyst role or even development roles. Quote, typically a move from system administrator to do a business analyst role comes through the display of project work, taking initiative to improve the system, and working closely with the engineering teams to solve issues at the root versus repetitive ticket handling. And see, that's the direction that I want to be in. I don't want to be really in system administration that much. But he's saying that, you want to get into system administration to get into business analyst. I've already done some sysadmin stuff, which is good. Solving problems at the root is a surefire way to get noticed as a system administrator. For those who want to stick with the sysadmin career path, the next stage is usually a senior sysadmin for a larger company. Now, he says sometimes they'll downshift or side shift into more of a startup environment, which even as a system administrator ultimately will require you to wear more hats. You will see people across the aisle into IT management. It really comes down to what the person wants. So if you're coming in from a sysadmin role, and like I always said, you could start off, let's say you're at a big company and you want to go to more of a startup company, which could be an MSP, and then you learn how to solve issues right there and improve them. Well, then now you're going to more of a business analyst, system business analyst. So, that's pretty much what they're talking about in that regard. They said some sysadmins really want to stay on the technical side, expanding and evolving their skill set. Others want to take an IT manager path and ladder from there into senior IT management. It depends on your career goals and aspirations of the individual. Development is really the soft skills, for example, communication skills. Now, it says here, Robert Rohrman, CompTIA's Senior VP of IT Infrastructure, says the career path options for the sysadmin are unlimited, with lots of potential for specialized focus. It could be security, it could be networking. If you become really good with the cloud environments, there are DevOps roles that can grow from that. Attaining the right certifications. So they mentioned AWS, Azure, certified, Cisco certified certification, the CCNA. I was just talking to one of my buddies the other day about the CCNA 200-301. And I think I'm going to go ahead and be working on that. I ran away from Cisco for a number of years and I should have never did that. That's something I should have been focused on many years ago. Network Chuck has a really good free CCNA 200-301 video log or video playlist. And there's a company that he recommends that has CCNA labs called Boson or Boston.com. So if you go to Network Chuck's site, you definitely want to check that out. And there's some things, there's some treats that I found out about, y'all, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. I'm gonna get into that real quick, so we can move on from there. I just wanted to kind of give y'all an idea on what's really going on, and it's coming hard and fast. So I want to read this article that came out. It's very important, especially for those in Minnesota. Okay, they want me to pay for it, so let me see. Good thing I saved it as a PDF. Okay, now I don't see it. That's kind of strange. That's weird. Okay, let's go into... I think that I must... Damn, did I erase it? Crap. Let's see if I erased it accidentally. I don't know why I would have did that. Let's see. When was it deleted? Sneezing. Like I said, my allergies killing me. I'm telling you, it's always when I'm getting ready to do something important. Every single time. And now I don't know. I really don't know where that article is. Star Tribune wants me to pay for it. Let me see if I can get it. I'm gonna have to do some serious editing. This is making stuff miserable. I thought about just hanging it up for y'all, but I want to give y'all a little more information here. Now, let's see if it's going to... Let me see if I can look at a different website, because they're gonna probably try to charge me for it. Okay, this is a couple... Okay, here we go. So I could go on mngov. Okay. So I'll start off here. So DEED. There's an organization called DEED. Well, it's a government thing. Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Make this a little bigger. So this article came out on March 3rd. DEED announces grant awards for tech training. So DEED announced the Minnesota Forward Tech Training Competitive Grant Award recipients who were selected for their innovative approaches to diversifying the tech sector in Minnesota. Now, the 5 grantees are being awarded a total of $2.5 million to implement in-person and virtual tech skills, along with employment placement to about 500 people statewide. So, grantees have committed to provide technical and workplace skills training along with one-on-one career counseling, mentorship, paid work experience, and on-the-job training. They're going to reach out to Minnesotans who identify as Black, Indigenous, and people of color, as well as the economically disadvantaged people across the state, offering training opportunities. So let's get down to it. Positions in computer and mathematical occupations pay an average of $100,000 a year, which is 57% higher than the average of all wages in Minnesota, according to the 2022 Occupational Employment and Wage Statistics data. Now, DEED issued a request for proposals last October for the Minnesota Forward Tech Training Competitive Grants. Now, here's the organizations that have been awarded the funds. Now, The Jewish Family and Children's Service of Minneapolis got 750,000. MCTC, never really cared for that college. They got 390,000. National Able Network, I'm going to break that down. They got 736,000. Somali Community Resettlement Services of Olmsted County, 385,000. Workforce Development got 300,000. Okay, so let's go into the task at hand. Let's seriously go into the task at hand. Now, where does this come in at? Black folk. I got off of an information session the other day about a place called itcareerlab.org. They were based in Chicago. They started out and founded in Chicago. They've been doing this for about maybe 10, 15, 20 years. And what they have in Minnesota is a couple different certification trainings. They got the Network and Systems Infrastructure one, which is the Microsoft 365 Endpoint Administrator Associate. So if you want to be a sysadmin, desktop administrator, cloud administrator, tech support specialist, system analyst, it focuses on ability to implement efficient deployment, leveraging Azure Active Directory for scalable endpoint implementation. So that's the sysadmin. Now, there's also CompTIA Network Plus Certified. I wouldn't worry about that. Don't even waste your damn time. Then they got the Cisco CCNA. You want to check that out. Then they got the Cisco Certified Technician, the CCST. That's a cybersecurity certification. So that focuses on entry-level cybersecurity concepts, subjects, encompassing security principles, network security, endpoint security concepts, vulnerability assessments, risk management, incident handling. So that's the first step to getting the cyber ops associate certification. So it's like an entry-level certification, and eventually you can get into the cyber ops associate cert. So that'll help you with, help desk, NOC technician, security analyst. You might be able to get in there with that. Now, here's the thing. This is the breakdown. The eligibility requirements is the following. You got to be collecting unemployment benefits. You have to either had been exhausted of your unemployment benefits. You got to be collecting SNAP, or you could be an honorably discharged military veteran. So once you're laid off from your position, you want to go to your unemployment benefits in Minnesota and apply. And then once they say you're eligible for it, these programs start in the next 30 to 60 days. So the Cisco cybersecurity one starts, I think, next week. That's 5 weeks it takes to get that. You get that in 5 weeks. The data analytics Power BI, that takes about 11 weeks. I think that's based in Chicago, but they might have a remote one. Then the Cisco CCST cybersecurity, they got another one starting on April 22nd. And they got the Cisco CCST networking, which is also 5 weeks. That starts on the 29th of April. Then the Cisco CCNA, that's 16 weeks. I think that starts like May 6th or something. So here's the thing. And this is what I was asking the people this is where it gets real sticky and tricky. Unemployment requires you to accept a job even when taking training. So if you're offered a job during the program, they said you could drop out, and if they have an evening class, you could switch over to evenings while continuing training along with your full-time job. And receiving unemployment benefits requires you search for a job. So if you accept a job position, your unemployment benefits, of course, are going to stop when you start your new job. But they just want to know, they want to get your eligibility unemployment determination letter. That's all they need. So if you get laid off somewhere and you get an unemployment determination letter, they need that. You can enroll in the program. But see, one of the things that I asked about this, I said, what about you get a brother or sister that gets in there, and let's say they get laid off of a BS help desk position, but they're just applying for everything, and then they get accepted to another little BS position. They're not really able to level up and get the next certification. So I think there needs to be a little bit of restructuring in how this stuff works. I guess they figured that we want people that had been working because we know that they will work. So that's the only other reason why I could think that they would only allow certain people to do so. I can't think of anything else. I really can't. So there you have it there. I've been going on for about 47 minutes, y'all. I'm gonna come back. There's a couple things that I've been wanting to cover. I'm probably not gonna cover that today. I wanted to get into the TikTok thing. But I will save that. I'll come back and I'll save that, because I kind of went a little longer with some of these other different things, and I'm gonna have to do some serious editing on this, as you can see. So yeah, go ahead, check out the YouTube, check out some of the latest things that I posted, and then we'll just keep it moving, and hopefully I won't be so damn congested. All right, y'all take care.